Hey, reunited, and it feels so good. We're all back together. It's been a summer of pain. I had a broken hamstring and I was on crutches for most of it. I've been in physical therapy, which proves I'm really not a mutant after all. If it is, healing factor certainly not, but it's good to be back with you guys. Here's Zanadu Comics for another brand new edition of Comics That Smell Good. Everyone's back together. Even the video monkey Sam is behind there.
Right. Full power.
So, I want to kick it off. Speaking of monkeys, do not get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape. These are two of my awesome, most favorite things ever. I love Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. I love Planet of the Apes. The genius who was behind this, who thought, why don't we put these two together? It's David Walker, it's Tim Seeley, they're co-writing this. It's Dark Horse and boom, are putting it together. So what if Tarzan and Caesar, the great ape revolutionary who created the Planet of the Apes, what if they were raised together? That's the premise. It's beautiful, it's awesome, it is... It's even got more than apes. It's even more than I expected. Dinosaurs and all kinds of other cool, crazy stuff. So all your pulp sci-fi love with two genres mashed up together. It's a rumble in the jungles that even goes down deep into the earth. So I'm very excited about this.
And cool. Honestly, by comic book logic, there are so many gorillas on that cover, it's going to sell out instantly. So you got to get in here 10 o'clock to get
That
your
is
copy.
totally true. In fact, I'm surprised they're even sitting on the rack still. I'm surprised people haven't banged the door down.
And next?
Yeah. Why don't I go with Island, number 11 here, from Image Comics, produced by Brandon Graham and Emma Rios. This is Image's House anthology book featuring both the final chapter of the amazing ancestor story by Matt Sheehan and Malachi Ward, but also a really cool cover by Johnny Christmas, who recently illustrated Margaret Atwood's debut graphic novel, Angel Catbird. Yes. There's also a really cool story by Grim Wilkins, who did some of the art on the Prophet Earth War miniseries, and a short story by Robin Bougie. He's like a movie blogger or something.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he's like a underground kind of zine blogger movie guy. Yeah, critic man.
Those bloggers.
Yeah. Freaking bloggers, especially comic book websites. God. Alright, new from Image, Surgeon X, number 1. This sees the first book that Karen Berger, whatever, is overseeing and editing since her return to the comics field and coming to Image, which was a big thing. Those who don't know, Karen Berger is mostly responsible or directly responsible for the awesomeness that was Vertigo in the 90s. Sarah Kenny, John Watkiss, bringing you the story of the world on the brink of a medical collapse. Healing just got sicker. That's right. There is a Preservation Act with the antibiotics. Apparently they're rationing things out, things have gotten bad, and this story follows a renegade surgeon who, probably helps people, probably for, a hefty price. But it's a pretty good sized issue. You got some serious quotes on the back here. You got Jeff Lemire, Brian Azzarello, Fabio Moon, Jock. It's like they were friends with these people or something like that. Wow. But yeah, brand new from Image, and very excited to see how this goes with a actual editor on the books, because that's not a usual thing with Image.
If my first pick made you nostalgic for back in the day, and if you're like me, you remember not only the comics, but the animated series and the movies, then here comes Josie and the Pussycats, a brand new Josie and the Pussycats. When I was a little kid, I watched the cartoon series. It's weird with all these awesome cult series, like, say, Star Trek, the original was only 3 seasons. This was only 2 seasons, but for me, it felt like it went on forever. I guess there are a lot of spin-offs, but it was a spin-off from Archie Comics. It was the Riverdale Gang, and this is the kind of a new origin story of Josie, Melody, and Valerie, as told by Marguerite Bennett, Cameron Dodoria, and Audrey Mock. So brand new. This is kind of a modern-day take on how, of course, there's like tweeting and all that kind of cool stuff as they're playing their concert, and they get discovered and they're on their road to fame and new adventures with Josie and the Pussycats. And we've got all kinds of awesome covers here, and I'm gonna let you take it before I do the old animated cartoon theme song.
Sure. I'll save us all from that.
Yeah, right, Morgan, break in on that.
Speaking of saving things, we have not just 1 but 2 Blue Beetles to save the day. Featuring Jaime Hernandez.
I know, right? I was like,
Jaime Reyes and Ted Cord, who funny enough, back in the old 52, never actually met because Ted Kord kind of had a huge hole in his skull. We don't talk about that.
Did that close up?
Yeah,
kind of like Terminator style.
He just covers it up with these big goggles now.
Cool. Okay. Good. I'm glad that helps him. Yeah.
But we've got Ted Kord in sort of a mentor role here for Jaime, who has recently found out that his alien scarab might not be so alien at all when Dr. Fate showed up and sort of hinted that it might be a mystical menace of sorts. So we're seeing not just Ted Kord, but Dr. Fate as well serving as sort of mentors to the young hero.
Cool.
And this is by Keith Giffen, who actually relaunched Blue Beetle in the first place, and is probably the most significant creator besides Steve Ditko to work on the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. And it's drawn by Scott Collins, who is a veteran of DC superhero books. And also the really fun Pastaways book for Dark Horse.
Yeah, it was really cool. More nostalgia. We are all about the nostalgia here this week. We're just oozing it in many forms. And I bring you a double shot of Revolution. That's right, IDW's 1980s toy crossover extravaganza continues. This week sees the release of Revolution Micronauts by Colin Bunn, Chris Panda, and the very first return of Mask, Momo Armored Strike Command with a K, kind of like Mortal Kombat, but before that. Tommy Lee Edwards providing a pretty badass cover here. It's kind of like Transformers a little bit, but less transforming machines and more people in cars that actually drive. But yeah, so IDW's definitely hitting this out of the park here. We got Brandon Easton and Tony Vargas bringing you the Mask book. So if you really need to get more of that awesome 80s nostalgia, we got you.
And I had some Micronauts, and I was forced to. I kept one. I was allowed to keep one, I think.
Only one?
Yeah, I had to do purge, but I chose my Star Wars choice over those. I think I chose wisely.
I think you chose wisely.
Let's hear it for the Rebirth continues. This is the Rebirth for Teen Titans. Here's two things about this book. Number one, Ben Percy's writing it, who is doing the new Green Arrow book, which I love. It's one of my new Rebirth books, so that's why I'm on this. And it's also Damian Wayne. I love Damian Wayne. I love when he was part of the Batman and Robin series by Patrick Gleason. I love the Damian Son of Batman series by Pat Gleason.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was really worried, like, okay, what's going to happen to Damian now that Batman's going solo again? But he is recruiting his own Titans. It's going to be Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, and the new Kid Flash. And he's going to take on the most evil grandpa in the history of comics. Possibly. I mean, that could be arguably. But he's on his own mission for Ra's al Ghul, so... but obviously, like, you know, Damian's kind of like a little jerk, but that's why we love him. So he's going to force him... It's going to be funny to see how he recruits and forces them to go on this mission, and will they even follow him? So really excited about this, and John Boy Myers is doing the art. Yeah. You know, it's Damian and Ben Percy. I love you for Green Arrow, so I will be reading this religiously.
And from DC's Vertigo imprint, there's a new #1 in Frostbite. This is written by Joshua Williamson, current scribe of The Flash and Nailbiter, and it's drawn by Jason Sean Alexander, who has been doing amazing work over at Image on his creator-owned series Empty Zone. This is sort of a frozen apocalyptic tale about a world that's gone down to 12 degrees Celsius, or Fahrenheit? Yeah, Fahrenheit, that's way colder or something.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And,
wait a minute, I don't think that's good.
There's this sort of weird, like, cold, like, disease called Frostbite. Crazy synergy there, right? That literally turns people to ice, and then a bunch of punks run up and they just, like, break you with a bat. I don't know if that's actually part of the disease or if that just keeps happening.
They just appear after.
Yeah, you know. But there's one woman who is charged with escorting a scientist who might have the only clue towards a cure, but she has a weird grudge against her that the ending sort of really throws into jeopardy the status of the mission.
Cool. And another #1 from DC. Yes, they are still in the rebirthing. This is a very long process, apparently.
Very painful labor.
Very painful.
This baby cannot come out healthy.
No, I mean, what were you trying to, like... Okay, I'm not even going to go there. Anyway, Batman Beyond, #1, or Rebirth #1, because there will be a #1. Dan Jurgens, and most notably, Ryan Sook. That's right, for the whole issue. Like, not a fill-in, not, you know, 3 pages.
Just a cover.
Not just a cover, but he actually drew this comic. Let's just pause for a minute. Wow. Cool. Alright. Batman Beyond. Batman, Cyberpunk, Terry McGinnis, in the future. Do you need to know more? There's a lot of Jokers in here, and that's with the Z, because in the future, everything is cooler with the Z. That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
My final pick is Wonder Woman: The True Amazon. We also have the latest issue of Wonder Woman by Greg Rucka and Liam Sharp, which is a story that lies. But this is a beautiful hardcover. It is by Jill Thompson, and I like to say it because you've heard this before. It's like Wonder Woman you've never seen before. But this really is just a beautiful, like, fairy tale steeped in all the Greek mythology and all the Greek legends. And she doesn't really, I don't want to give it away, but it's like, it's not all the usual what you expect from Wonder Woman, but it's still amazingly Wonder Woman. It focuses on the Amazon legends. Really beautiful, and if you're a Diana fan, definitely a beautiful new addition to your collection. I got a little choked up just talking about it.
And my final pick for you here is the latest in Marvel's Epic Collection line, The Panther's Rage. This is collecting, like, a landmark story in Marvel's history. It's essentially a huge graphic novel. It's like a 12-issue story that ran through Jungle Action. Really the first solo Black Panther story ever, and it's something that, like, as far as structurally, it went on to inspire so many overarching epics that Marvel and DC and every comic company these days uses. And you get not just that, but also the follow-up story where Black Panther goes and he, like, comes to America, to the Deep South, and he takes on the Klan. And then there's also the very first two appearances of Black Panther in Fantastic Four 52 to 53. So you're getting, like, 2 whole graphic novels plus 2 Jack Kirby Stan Lee Fantastic Four classics, if you want to see how real superhero comics were made.
Seriously, those 2 issues of Fantastic Four is just pinnacle of superhero storytelling. True pinnacle. And they had Wyatt Wingfoot. Awesome.
Yeah. Where's he these days?
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like the Wyatt Wingfoot. She-Hulk for a minute. Like, he was in like 2 pages in the early issues.
Yeah. And continuing DC, Hellblazer, number 2, local artist Moratat providing art on this, John Constantine, back in England, and again making Chaz's life a living hell. Nice to know nothing is different. Poor Chaz, we are all amazed he hasn't been horribly ripped apart by a demon or taken to another dimension and violated in some way. I mean, he's actually gotten away pretty unscathed for a 30-year friendship.
We're only 2 issues in, though.
This is true. This is true.
There's plenty of time.
But yeah, Simon Oliver, continuing his story. This has got some Swamp Thing action in it, which is really cool. A little Abigail Arcane, which is very, very cool. So yes, I'm excited for some more Hellblazer. And for the special bonus pick, that's right.
Ooh.
Finally, a new thing from 80% Studios. We have the Battle Book. All ages, activity, adventure. In one book, $6, lots of color, lots of activity, featuring all of the cool little characters from the 80% Studios world, and requires way less commitment than it does to read a comic. You can just pick this up, doodle in it, and have, be all good. It's very fun. It's a very non-committal thing. So, if you got kids, I'm sure you have kids. Buy them a battle book. Buy yourself a battle book. Don't give me that look, Video Monkey. I gave you a battle book. Don't give me that look. Anyway, yeah. Demi did a great job on this. Demi Maher is providing all the art here. Yeah, self-promotion time is over. Shameless self-promotion. Well, not really shameless, because I don't care. You should buy it anyway. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. It's very great to have everybody back. And we'll see you again next week with more comic books.